A guy comes home completely drunk one night. He lurches through the door and is met by his scowling wife, who is most definitely not happy.
"Where the heck have you been all night?"
she demands. "At this new bar," he says. "It's called the Golden Saloon. Everything there is golden. It's got huge golden doors, a golden floor, and even the urinal's gold." The wife still doesn't believe his story. So the next day, she checks the phone book, finding a place across town called the Golden Saloon. She calls up the place to check her husband's story.
"Is this the Golden Saloon?"
she asks as the bartender answers the phone.
"Yes, it is,"
the bartender answers.
"Do you have huge golden doors?"
she asks.
"Sure do,"
the bartender replies.
"Do you have golden floors?"
she asks.
"Most certainly do,"
the bartender assures her.
"What about golden urinals?"
she queried skeptically. There's a long pause. Then the woman hears the bartender yelling,
"Hey, Duke! I think I got a lead on the guy that pissed in your saxophone last night."
Two police officers saw an old woman staggering down the street. After stopping her, they could tell she had far too much to drink, and instead of taking her to jail, they decided to just drive her home. They loaded her into the police cruiser, and one of the officers gets in the back with the drunk woman. As they drove through the streets, they kept asking the woman where she lived. All she would say, as she stroked the officer's arm, is,
"You're passionate."
They drove a while longer and asked her again. Again, the same response. As she stroked his arm, she said,
"You're passionate."
The officers were getting a little upset, so they stopped the car and said to the woman,
"Look, we've driven around this city for 2 hours and you still haven't told us where you live."
The woman says,
"I keep trying to tell you. You're passionate."
A man was sitting at a bar enjoying an after-work cocktail when an exceptionally gorgeous and sexy young woman entered. She was so striking that the man could not take his eyes from her. The young woman noticed his overly attentive stare and walked directly toward him. Before he could offer his apologies for being so rude, the young woman said to him,
"I'll do anything, absolutely anything that you want me to do, no matter how kinky, for $100. On one condition."
Flabbergasted, the man asked what the condition was. The young woman replied,
"You have to tell me what you want me to do in just 3 words."
The man considered her proposition for a moment, then withdrew his wallet from his pocket and slowly counted out 5 $20 bills, which he pressed into the young woman's hand. He looked into her eyes and slowly, meaningfully said,
"Paint my house."
A man walks into a quiet bar and orders a cold beer. He takes the beer over to a table and sits down. After a few sips of his beer, he hears a small voice say,
"Nice shoes."
He looks around, but he is the only one in the bar except the bartender, who is occupied cleaning the other end of the bar. The man shrugs it off and goes back to his drink. A few minutes later, another small voice says,
"Nice shirt."
Again, the man looks around but can see nobody. Concerned that his mind is playing tricks on him, he is now on guard, listening for any reoccurrences. After a few minutes, a third small voice says,
"Nice pants."
This time he is sure it is not his imagination, so he goes up to the bartender and tells him what has happened. "Oh yeah, that happens all the time," says the bartender, pointing to the small bowl on the guy's table. "It's the peanuts. They're complimentary." A man walked into a bar. He sat down and asked the bartender, "If I impress you, can I have a free drink?" The bartender said, "Sure." So the man reached in his pocket and pulled out a tiny piano. He then pulled out a small rat and set it by the piano. It crawled onto the bench and began playing music. The bartender was amazed, so he gave the man a beer. Next, the man said, "If I impress you even more, can I have free drinks for life?" The bartender didn't think it was possible, so he agreed. The man pulled a frog out of his pocket and it began to sing by the piano. The bartender smiled and told the man that he was impressed. A man in a suit with a cane walked into the bar, saw the small animals, and offered to buy them for $2 million. The owner said, "No," but he offered to sell the frog for $500,000. The rich man agreed, took the frog, and left. The bartender couldn't believe the owner just did that and said,
Why did you just sell the frog? There's no singer now.
The owner laughed and said, "Don't worry. The rat is a ventriloquist." A very shy guy goes into a bar and sees a beautiful woman sitting there. After an hour of gathering up his courage, he finally goes over to her and asks, would you mind if I chatted with you for a while? She responds by yelling at the top of her lungs,
No, I won't sleep with you tonight!
Everyone in the bar is now staring at them. Naturally, the guy is hopelessly and completely embarrassed, so he slinks back to his table. After a few minutes, the woman walks over to him and apologizes. She smiles at him and says,
I'm sorry if I embarrassed you. You see, I'm a graduate student in psychology and I'm studying how people respond to embarrassing situations.
The man considers her apology for a moment, then responds at the top of his lungs, What do you mean $200? Patty and Murphy are sitting at a bar sipping their beers. Murphy turns to Patty and says,
So I guess you made it home okay last night? I mean, you were pretty drunk when you left the bar.
Oh yeah,
says Patty.
I decided to leave my car here and take a bus home instead.
Where did you find a bus around here?
Asks Murphy.
Actually, I was so drunk that I can't remember,
Replies Patty.
But it's a good thing I did because I passed a police checkpoint on the way home and they were pulling over cars left and right and performing breathalyzer tests.
Well, I'm glad you made it home safely,
Says Murphy.
Yeah,
Agrees Patty.
it was a real surprise to me.
Confused, Murphy asks,
Why are you surprised that you made it home safely if you took the bus?
Patty replies,
Well, you see, I've never driven a bus before.
A man goes into a bar and has a couple of beers. Once he is done, the bartender tells him he owes $16.
But I paid already, don't you remember?
Says the customer.
Okay,
Says the bartender.
if you said you paid, you did.
The man then goes outside and tells the first person he sees that the bartender can't keep track of whether his customers have paid or not. The second man then rushes into the bar, orders a beer, and later pulls the same stunt. The bartender replies,
If you say you paid, I'll take your word for it.
Soon, the customer goes into the street, sees an old friend, and tells him how to get free drinks. The man hurries into the bar and orders a beer. Suddenly, the bartender leans over to him and says,
You know, a funny thing happened in here tonight. 2 men were drinking beer, neither paid, and both claimed that they did. The next guy who tries that is gonna get punched right in the nose.
The final patron responds, Don't bother me with your troubles. Just give me my change.